What's up, course heroes? Welcome to yet another video. Today we are talking about 11 tips and tricks for new Zenler. Let's get started. First thing we're going to look at is course validity. So if you head on over to your courses, let's just pick this course for example, you can set validity for your course in the pricing plan. And what this does is it allows your students to only have access to the course for a specific period of time. So if I go into, let's say, this pricing plan, I can set the availability. So let's say I'm going to say that this course is only available to enroll from September 1st to September 30th. And then once I have set that, I can set the validity of the course saying how many days can they have access to this course. So in my example, I'm going to say they're going to have access to this course for 180 days. So 6 months access to the course. And this is a super cool, powerful feature that allows you to control access to your course. So that's my tip number 1, set validity for your course if the use case justifies that. Let's move on to number 2. Tip number 2 is about copying blocks of code from one page to another, from maybe one course to another. Now, Zenler already has a feature of saving custom blocks. So I'm going to show you like a 2 and 2.1. So what I want to do here is I want to save this pricing block. And this is a page that's built on my Easy Template Club site where you get access to 100 plus pages, templates pre-built on Zenler. I'll put a link of that in the description. But let's say I want to copy this pricing block so I don't have to keep creating it over and over again, or I just want this specific block from this page to go on a different page. So first thing I can do is I can go into the editor and I can simply click on this and save it as a template. So let's say I'm going to save it as pricing block and the name of this page. And that's one way to do it. Now, it can get unwieldy and long if you have too many custom blocks saved in your school. So what I like to do is I like to just hover over here, click on this block code. I have no clue what this code means. I'm sure if I put hours into it, I'll be able to figure it out. But what I literally did is I opened the code for this specific block, copied it. Now, if I go into a blank page here, I can do the same thing, open the block code and paste it over here. So I overrode what was already there. Now, the cool thing about this is it is front end editing. So you don't need to know HTML. You don't need to learn it. All you can do is now, if I want to change this word here, I can just highlight it and type whatever I want there. So that's the beauty of copy and pasting the block. Now, similarly, I can save this page, I can refresh it, and I can use that custom block that I had saved. So if I refresh this page, I'll be able to get to that custom block, which works in a similar way as you would be copying and pasting code. In my mind, custom blocks are something that you're going to use over and over again, whereas just copying the block code and pasting it is maybe once or twice. So if I just add a new block here, I can go down to my custom blocks right here and I can pick that custom pricing block that I just created. Let's see where it is, right here, and paste it. So you can see both methods work, but as you notice, my custom blocks are getting kind of out of control here because I have way too many custom blocks. So if you want to avoid that too many custom block situation, then you can simply copy and paste just a single block code. And that's your tip number 2. Let's move on to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is another super powerful feature that most people don't know about, which is within Zenler, we have the blogging functionality, but within that blog functionality, you can restrict access to blog pages. So for example, let's say I want this blog to only be visible to those who are in a specific course or are enrolled in a specific pricing plan within a course. What I can do is go set the post visibility and I can say let's select only for those people who are in this specific course called How to Publish Content Like a King, but also in this specific content calendar roadmap pricing plan for that course. You can see how powerful this is, because if I save this, let's just go ahead and save this for now. What's going to happen now is if I preview this blog post, I am not going to be able to preview it because I don't have the permission, because I'm not enrolled in that specific course. And this is super powerful if you, let's say you have a membership which is silver, gold, platinum, and your platinum members get early access to your blog. This is something that I can see the blog functionality to be leveraged for. So that was tip number 3, how to control blog visibility. Let's move on to tip number 4. Tip number 4, again, simple yet powerful functionality enabling reCAPTCHA, especially on your login page, because you might get a lot of people trying to log in, hackers trying to break into your school. So what I'm going to do here is go to site pages, and then within your site pages, if you just search for login, you can go and edit your login page. And what you can do here is you can enable reCAPTCHA, which tells your visitors that they need to fill in this puzzle, right, before they can log in. And that helps from bot attacks, making sure that a real person is trying to log in to your school, into your course. So what from here I'm going to do is go into my page settings, and here all you have to do is enable this reCAPTCHA box. Now you can either have it as a visible reCAPTCHA or invisible. So I'm going to keep it visible just so I can show you how it works. And then let's just save and preview. So when I try to log in, I have to check this box which says I'm not a robot. And based on where these users are logging in, if Zenler detects that this is something suspicious, they're going to give them that puzzle, like the 9-quadrant window, which says click every image that's a fire hydrant or something like that. So that's super cool. It will help your school, protect your school. And thank you, Zenler team, for giving us this functionality. So that was tip number 4. Let's move on to tip number 5. Tip number 5 is all about controlling your dynamic menu. Now, Zenler has given us this functionality where I can go control this dynamic menu. And a couple of things that I cannot do here is what I'm going to show you how to do. So first, what I want to do is pull up the editor, show you that dynamic menu, and walk you through what you can do. Now, to note here is this blog and community option. And as I get into that dynamic header, you're going to see what happens with blog and community. So if I go into this header, which is a dynamic header, and if you don't have this site header dynamic, you can just add a new block, search for header, and you can pull in this dynamic header block into your school or into any page. I already have it, so I'm going to go ahead and click on settings. You can see I have blog and community both here. If I go to the menu here option, I can remove blog, and now only community remains. Now here's the problem, that I don't have the option to remove community, as you can see here. So if you have communities enabled within your Zenler school, and if you're on the pro or premium plan, you get unlimited communities, you are stuck with that community menu if you have enabled it for your students. But what if you don't want to show it in your header bar? So that's where this next trick comes in. It's a little ninja trick, but it's literally copy and paste. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to refresh this page. I'm going to preview it, and you can see community is, if we go count from left to, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th item from the left. However, Zenler counts your logo as number 1. So now if we count again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th item from the left. And what we want to do is we want to tell Zenler hide number 7 from left. How we do that is I'm going to go into site. I'm going to go into global includes, and I'm going to add a piece of code here under all pages. right at the bottom, I'm going to add this code, and it says style, and then so you're going to open it with the style and then close it with this style parentheses, and then within here we decided it's number 8. So I'm going to delete this, and all you need to do is I'm going to put this code in the description, and you just need to paste this code in your new Zenler school and count what that community item is left to right, and whatever that number is, you just put that number. If it's number 5, you put number 5. In my case, it's number 7, so I'm going to put that, and that display not important, which is right here, is going to hide that menu item. Now if I go and refresh this page, community is gone. Similarly, if I wanted to also hide hire us, I would just clone the same line, and in this case I'm going to put number 6. So now menu item number 6 and number 7 are going to be hidden. As you can see, hire us is now disappeared. So if I just delete this line again, that hire us is going to be back if I refresh this page. So that's the power of using a little bit of code. I know it can be intimidating, but I'll put that in the description. And just like that, you were able to hide something from your dynamic header, which New Zenler out of the box doesn't give you the functionality to do. Let's move on to tip number 6. Tip number 6 is about email filters. Another powerful functionality that's hiding in plain sight in your email broadcasts. So you can do this in email broadcast or automation that lives under your courses, under your marketing funnels, under your live webinars. So how this works is I'm going to show you under my email broadcast. I have this test email here. And if I edit this, what I want to do is say, send this email to all my contacts, right? So if I delete this filter, it's going to send this email to 1291 contacts that I have in my New Zenler school. But let's filter it down further. What if I want to send this to only people who did not open my last email broadcast? First, I need to know what was my last email broadcast. So let's go and look at that. This was my last email broadcast. And what I want to say is whoever didn't open this last email broadcast, which said I effed up, I want to resend it to those people who did not open that email. So that's the filter I want to apply. So what I'm going to do is add a filter group here. I'm going to say, and I'm going to add a filter where email not open. And then New Zenler is going to give me the option to select which email was not open. You have your course emails here. You have your marketing funnel emails here. And all the way to the bottom are your broadcasts. And broadcasts go from oldest to latest. So my last one is right here. And now if you see this 1291 is going to change once I hit save changes. That means 728 people did not open that previous email. So now I can retarget those people, and you can add more conditions. You can say anyone who did not open this email, and so there's an and condition, and their role is student. So if I apply those two filters, this is going to go down even further. And now I can apply a second filter group. So I can say match these two conditions. And on top of that, I also want you to match another condition, which is email opened. And let's say that they did open another email of mine, which was, let's say, this one. So now this is going to go down even further because now it's looking at 3 different filters. So that's the power of email filters. It can be really powerful. You just have to play with it, do your due diligence, do some testing, but super powerful. Again, thank you, New Zenler team. Let's move on to tip number 7. Tip number 7 is about jump links or anchor links, and how they work is, let's say I want this learn more to go down to the speaker section, but on the same page. So if I click the learn more button, it's going to scroll down the page, bring me to the speaker section. How exactly do we do it? Let's get into the page editor. So the first thing you want to do is you want to identify what your target is, where you want your visitors to land when they click that button. So in our case, we want them to land on the speakers page. So I take that And what I'm going to do is go into the code editor here, just like we did previously with our copy and pasting the block. And here I'm simply going to add right after, usually I just do it after this data unique ID. I'm going to add a new field called ID equals speakers. So ID equals in open quotes and closed quotes speakers. And then I'm going to hit save. Then I'm going to go back up, and in this button, I'm going to go into its setting. And in the settings, I'm going to put the link as hashtag speakers, all one word. So you can have hyphens in there, but no spaces. So that's the trick. And once you do that, the code, it's going to know that whenever this button is pressed, I need to go find on this page wherever that ID speaker is mentioned and reference it and take visitors to that exact spot on the page. So if I preview this again, we're going to click on this and it's bring us down to speakers. So you can do this on different buttons on the same page that take you to different sections of the page. And that's really the trick. But another hidden trick that not many people know about. Let's move on to trick number 8. For this next trick, number 8, we are going to leverage a marketing funnel. And what this trick is about, using your marketing funnel as a catch-all dummy funnel. So if I go into my marketing funnels, what I would do is, let's just say I create this funnel. This should be my catch-all funnel. And the reason is, so if anyone signs up to a lead magnet, you can then subscribe them to this dummy funnel. And how it'll work is, let's say you have a lead magnet about 5 tips to get better at writing. Once they subscribe to that lead magnet, you want to continue to market to that person, but you don't want your 5 tips for better writing lead magnet to become a 100 email long funnel. You want them to then be subscribed to a secondary funnel, which will continue to send them emails and continue to keep your list engaged, your list warm. So how you do that is, if I go into this funnel, for example, I'm going to go into the funnel steps and you edit your opt-in page. There, you can select what happens when someone subscribes to this funnel. You can say whenever someone subscribes to this funnel, also subscribe them to my dummy 101 marketing funnel or whatever you want to call it. And that'll be your catch-all funnel. So you can continue to use that second funnel to send automated emails and keep your list engaged. So I'm going to go to my button settings here and I'm going to say under settings, when someone subscribes to this funnel, what's the action I want this new Zenler to take? So the action to take is submit the form. And once they submit the form, I also want to add them to my marketing funnel that's going to continue to send them emails. So that's the part you would pick here. And that's really it. That allows you to use a secondary funnel. That'll be your email marketing funnel. Let's move on to tip number 9. Tip number 9 is all about editing your footer icons. This is super simple, but just something that I have seen people struggle with. So if I go all the way to the bottom of the page here, you can see these 4 footer icons. And how you edit that is, once you're in editor mode, you're going to go to your footer, press the settings button here, and then go to the menu and you will see there are icons you can add to your footer. This unfortunately doesn't work on the new Zenler blog piece, but it will work on your new Zenler site. So if you're using this as a course sales page or just a regular page under site pages, then this dynamic footer will show up and you can add your social media icons. So I can go here, I can add a new menu icon here, and then I can link it to my social media profile. So let's say I have a Discord, I'm going to add a Discord icon here, and the action I'm going to select is go to link, and let's just add a link right here and save. So that 5th icon gets added. And then if I preview this, let's just refresh this preview. you will see there's that fifth icon, and if I click it, it's going to take me to the link that I put in there. So that's your tip number 9, is adding social media icons to your footers in Zenler. Let's move on to tip number 10. Tip number 10 is the much awaited cloud recording. Finally. So if you have a Zenler Pro or Premium subscription, head on over to the live tab. Here I have a live webinar set up. So within this live webinar, now you'll see a new tab called cloud recording. So if I start a webinar right now, it's going to open up Zoom because Zenler has an integration with Zoom. And within that Zoom, when you hit record, you can record to the cloud. And this is going to start the recording. And then once you finish this meeting, it is going to upload it to the cloud, to Zenler's cloud, Zoom's cloud, who cares, some cloud, but it's going to be available in the cloud. So when you are in your Zenler school, you will be able to access this recording without having to remember to record this on your local machine and then upload it back to the cloud. So I'm done with this demo, so I'm going to stop it. And then once that meeting encodes, it's done recording, it's going to show up in the cloud recording tab right here. How cool is that? Thank you. Finally, Zenler team, you have heard our prayers and we appreciate that. Moving on to the final tip number 11. And tip number 11 is the Zenler app. Zenler has its app. I'm going to link to the video that talks more in depth about the app itself. But in this one, what I want to show you is how you can send push notifications to all your students from that app. So within your admin dashboard, you will see mobile app. Here you can go into branding, you can change your app logo and the theme color. And what this theme color does is you can see these little blue lines here. And if I change that, let's say to orange, you can see that update in real time. That's the theme color option. So they've kept it really simple. It's not too complex. You don't have to learn something new. What's really powerful is the push notifications. So you can send notifications to your students. Again, I'm going to put a screenshot and also link to the video that I did about the Zenler app. And you can either send it to all the members of your school, or you can send it to specific members of your school. Now, one thing you cannot do as of yet, as of the time of this recording, is you cannot send this to specific students enrolled in a specific course. That would be the next level, the next step, the nirvana. But for now, you can send it to either all the recipients in your school or to specific recipients. Still a great functionality, and you can learn more about the app by watching the app video. And that is pretty much it. That's tip number 11. And there you have it, course heroes. Those are my top 11 tricks for Zenler. Let me know in the comments below what's your favorite trick and how you use it in your Zenler school. Until next time, keep creating.